Welcome to Frequency Bone Summer Music Connection 9 Video 3. And this series of videos is called Authenticity, a Custom Job. So, being video 3, let's look at it in 3 different ways. Some people have heard me talk about the overlay system before, which is, in a nutshell, the first overlay is your habit life, your robotic, automatic systems. Okay? You practice something like brushing your teeth, and if you try to brush your teeth with the opposite hand than you're used to doing, it's going to be difficult, because your habit is so hardwired. So the automatic robotic system. The second overlay is skill and choice, which talks really about the person. Okay? And the fact that when more skills are developed through regular practice, no matter what that is, riding a bicycle, learning how to drive a car and getting better at it, playing your instrument, the better you get, the more choices you have, because you don't have to think as much about what you're doing because it's been transferred to your automatic robotic systems. And then, it's the reason why we do what we do. And with that thought and that attitude, it determines the third overlay, or where we're going to put what would be a third overlay, which is integration and art. It's like taking 2 sticks, your habit life and your choice life, and since you have skill and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with that skill, start rubbing them together. But instead of just creating a fire that goes nowhere, if you have a target, an aim, that's more of your third overlay. So basically, if the first overlay is a car or some vehicle, right? The second overlay is the driver. The third overlay is the destination. Okay? So let's try to view authenticity from some of those levels. Now, we've already said that every human being, every skunk, every tree, every cloud, every grain of sand, every snowflake, every subatomic particle is unique. Not one is exactly the same. So that talks about a totally authentic, in the bigger picture, first overlay. Okay? At the same time, the person inside the vehicle, they too are a totally unique, authentic person by design. But depending on where we move our thoughts, how we've been conditioned, how we've been raised, what overall environments have we been living in that influence us, all these things are going to affect who we are and how we think. And how we translate what we feel. Because we feel different things and go, oh, that's a bad feeling. I shouldn't feel that. I should be feeling more of this. Well, in my own life, I think that's true. There's certain things that I might be feeling that I go, you know what? I really want to be beyond just getting angry all the time. Okay? It's not really useful on so many levels for you and for your surroundings. And so if I say, you know what? Okay, this situation, I'm not thrilled about. But let me look at it with some clarity, with taking a little bit of time to look at it. But there's all different kinds of getting kind of angry, isn't there? Like, I did that because I just imagined being in a car and someone cuts me off. And all of a sudden I feel different fingers wanting to go up. Or one in particular. Sorry. But I think that's real. You know, but I've been training myself to go, you know what? That wasn't great. And I hope I can learn something in my own driving, maybe not to do that as well. Because it's really harmful. So if a person wants to do no harm, that doesn't mean you just lay down on the ground and have everyone walk all over you and treat you like scum. I'm not saying that. You have to stand your ground. Okay? So this gets into a whole giant territory with that. So how we live our life, how we're influenced and all that, even you can say if you take 25 people who have a problem with anger, you'll find a similarity in all of them. There'll still be some uniquenesses. Guaranteed. Now, this third overlay, integration and art, the destination. Well, let's go from the profound end first. Does the human being have a purpose? I'm of the sincere belief, yes. Every living thing has a purpose and a function. Look at the trees. What they give off, which isn't good for them anymore, we take in, like oxygen. Okay? We let off something, carbon dioxide, they take it in as food. So there's a reciprocal relationship there. And there's so many parts of life that work like that. Okay? So, our purpose, is that unique? Each person's purpose. Well, let's say, and please dig into this if this is an interesting subject for you. And if not, maybe it'll be in 10 years or 20 years or 35 years. I don't know. But if I think the purpose of life for humans is similar, our functions and how we act and are in our life are going to be different. Not everyone's going to be a surgeon. Not everyone's going to be a nursery school teacher. And a nursery school teacher and a great kindergarten teacher, these are very important people. They're as important as the people who are teaching the high-end physics or the depths of psychology or any other subject. So some people will be economics teachers, some people will be music teachers, some people will be life teachers, some people will be a combination of maybe different kinds of teachers. So even if our purpose as a human being, we were designed to do something, I believe, let's say that was the same in the end, how we enact that out in our duties in the theater of this life might be different. So there's a uniqueness there. Even if you take, well, look at all these millions of musicians, they have the same purpose. Yes, at the higher end, but they might not all be vibrating to the same purpose at this point in time, and they have different functions. They have different functions. Some might like to entertain. Some might like to inspire. Some might be ensemble players. and that's where they feel great. Some might need that limelight. It's a very curious thing. But all life, and let's look at human beings, they become what they think about. We become what we think about. We become what we process on a regular basis. Just think if you were angry for 24 hours a day for a week. Just think if you were inspired and loved what you did and felt that joy 24 hours a day for a week. See? That wasn't a hard one to go, oh wow, there'd be a big difference. There'd be a big difference on every single level of your life, from how your mind would work, how your emotions would work, how possibly your instincts would even start to work, and which would feel towards the world around you. So part of living is trying to find where we're authentically going to fit into the scheme of all the different possibilities there are. Some people could be just so happy being a male person, going from door to door, just knowing what they're doing every day, doing it with care, honesty, and a happiness about it. Maybe it's because something else is making them happy too. And they're happy at least to be able to provide for their family and something that they feel pretty good at. Some people that would be torture. So maybe that was too strong of a word, but it would really be difficult for them. I can think of most jobs that I think would be difficult for me. And sometimes we have to do what we have to do, don't we? So, authentic. Purpose. Doing what needs to be done. Great mentor of mine said, discipline is doing what needs to be done at the time it needs to be done, whether we like doing it or not. And if you have a certain sense of, I need to provide for my family, I need to give them this kind of support, and that's real because you don't want them to be at too much hardship, and that's honorable, and that's a genuine feeling. So let's go back to this second overlay. During this Berklee-Boston Conservatory summer brass intensive that just ended today, during the course of the week, this young woman from California named Rebecca, trombonist, she thinks a lot, and I could feel she thinks a lot about things. And she came up to me and she said, how can we deal with failure? How can we deal with failure? What is failure? What is failure? In our own eyes? In other people's eyes? If we felt we weren't going to be judged as a failure, would that help? Would it help to understand that some people, when they fall, can get right up and keep going? Fall again, get up and keep going. Fall again, keep up and get on and keep going. Some people have a harder time with that. It depends. Some people have different kinds of sensitivities. Again, we're getting into the uniqueness of each person, but we could probably break people up into certain categories. Many great traditions of the world have done that. Well, there's this kind of person, and this kind of person, and this kind of person, and there's this kind of person. And it's very fascinating. Many different. I'll let you discover what kind of cultures have done that. If someone's really interested, I can let you know. There are many kinds. And many different ways to look at people. But my point is, how do we deal with failure? As Rebecca was asking me. To know that that's not the end. To be really simple about it, what if we didn't think, okay, we failed on that one. The sun will come out tomorrow. Do we believe that? Or do you think we failed? And we're marked for life. No, you're not. No, you're not. To be able to go on is a great quality that we could have in our attitude, which is located in our second overlay, which will influence our habit life. Because if we go, I made a mistake, I failed, and we say that over and over, guess what? It goes right into our first overlay. It goes right into our habit life. And that's very hard to break if we've done it, practiced it for 10, 15 years, let alone some people maybe 40, 50, 60. So I suggest when you fall and you think it's a failure, stand up and go, wait, I fell. I'll try again. Pay more attention. And try to practice courage. Try to practice being brave in small ways. Saying, oh, I don't know if I want to play a solo. Well, can you play 3 notes in front of someone? Some people, they see the lake and it's summer, or the ocean, right? And they just run with all their might and jump into that water and make a big splash. Some people go up to the water and go with their foot back away. Walk up, put the feet in the water and make friends if the water is not at the same as the body temperature. And just get used to it and acclimate to the environment of the water. And then they'll go walk into their ankles, and then when that's good, the knees maybe. Well, there's something between there, isn't there? Like the calves, and the knees, and might go into the thighs, and just keep going up, and finally they maybe they'll be up to their neck, and they're fine. So maybe you just need to take a little bit more time and keep a journal. Every time you think you fail, ask yourself, why do I think that? And sometimes it is because we're comparing ourselves to others. It's great to rewrite the attitude and say, wow, this person can do so many things I can't do. Maybe there's a couple things just by watching them I might pick up, even a little thing. But that doesn't mean you have to think you have to become them. For that wouldn't be very authentic. Learn to deal with the ups and the downs. That's why the yogis talk about being more even-minded. More even-minded. Not so attached to the, oh, that was horrible. Not so attached to, man, I'm great. Try not to claim it. The negative or the positive. Have that other road that goes, I'm going to keep going and deepening my art. If there's a movement in the right direction, that I feel that is the right direction, I'll move to there. If something comes and wants to slap me in the face a little bit, I'll keep moving. I'll keep moving. I'll keep moving. I'll keep moving. As the great mentor of mine said, cry if you must, but on the move. Just don't sink into a hole. Pull yourselves up. The human being is an incredible adaptive creature if we want to be. Start trying to draw more and more of that into yourself by small steps. By small steps. Rebecca, by small steps. Don't think of a bad audition as a failure. Think of it, what can I learn from it? I mean, maybe you'll have to go outside or go into a room and go, ah! and scream or cry a bit. Give yourself a minute, 10 minutes to do it. Then go, okay, wait. Okay, what did I do? What happened? And try to be in a thing about it. Maybe your attitude going into it was already a little in a direction that wasn't setting you up well. And some days, I felt some days I could set myself up great, and some days I'm feeling a little more of the nervy thing. It's all part of it. But if you think you're just not doing it for you, some of it's for you. Maybe some of it's for the great hand that made it all true, whatever that means to you. To make the most out of this theater and not be swallowed by the world's judgment, which then gets into each one of us and wants to rob us of our authenticity and genuineness because we think we have to take that disease on. And we all do it. We want to be accepted. We want people to like what we do. I hate to tell everyone this, but a lot of people are not going to like everything that you do. I gave up, and I'm much older than probably a lot of people watching. I gave up trying to think about if someone likes my playing a long time ago. It's very clear to me that maybe if I don't play something as well, or I'm a little shaky and I play something, and people hear it, and they're caught by what they don't like trombone-wise, they'll miss the point. And I had a wonderful training of my grandfather. He played simple songs. He couldn't get into a youth orchestra. He was self-taught violinist. When he played that violin, for me, his eyes were shut, and he traveled back to his native Poland. He time traveled and saw his parents and his family there again. He wasn't thinking, I failed, or I was out of tune. Not during those times. Those eyes were shut. He was gone. I'll show you a little tune that he used to play. was playing that for you, I felt him. I felt him. Please don't miss the magic of what music can do for you. Because if you can get it, you will be able to be more inside of the authenticity of what music can actually do. I'll end with the meditative part of meditative longing.
la la